You know, I heard there's going to be a 6th season and a 4th Equestria Girls film.
What did you just watch?
I don't know. Quadrupeds, I think. One of them was blue. I don't know.
The season 5 finale for MLP,
The season 5 finale of MLP, and it was alright.
and it was really good.
What a fast season it felt like, even with the big hiatus in the middle.
What did I just watch? You had better hope we all just watched the season 5 finale, otherwise this is going to be a really awkward reaction.
I believe I just watched the Cutie remarking season 5 finale. Did I not?
The Force Awakens, and it was so good, especially the part where...
The season 5 finale of My Little Pony.
What were your overall thoughts on the episode? I always like stories like this where the setting is very much established, the characters and the stories that have come, and then taking that and saying, well, what if this element was taken out? How would things change? How would the world change?
I thought it was a good episode. I liked that they introduced alternate timelines. It was cool seeing the villains again.
It was alright.
It's such an interesting topic to take a look at, and one to even ponder about many other shows and movies.
That's all I'll say. It's alright.
It was super cool to see each of the villains in their spotlight and where they would be and the wars and all that. I mean, this was a fairly serious episode.
Starlight Glimmer back in the fray. We'll see how that goes.
I thought it was really funny. I enjoyed seeing all the different timelines of different realities where the bad guys got their way, and it was just overall interesting to see what could happen if friendship never existed.
It sure was a lot bigger and more epic than I was expecting. It's nice to see all the villains return, but it's also kind of cool how they made it so they don't have to work them into future episodes. It's just kind of like a one-off thing.
Kind of bittersweet. I legitimately felt sorry for Seafood Dinner.
Okay episode, but I did feel like it was one of the weaker season finale, season opener type episodes.
It was pretty good. It was, it's our Bronies doing the Brony thing.
She really had a hard past, and it's interesting because you see a villain and you don't sympathize with them because they're evil, and you don't, it doesn't cross your mind, I wonder what made them that way. You just see the harm they're doing to other people, and you think...
It explored lots of different, different outcomes and things, so it's like, there's this scenario, there's this scenario, there's this scenario, so there was a lot packed into it. It wasn't just one story, it was several, all intertwined and referencing past material. That's cool.
What did you like about the episode?
I always like the alternate universe theory in different shows, so it was interesting to see MLP cover the topic.
Again, I loved the direction, I loved the story, I loved the idea, I loved seeing we saw wartime ponies, we saw them actually in battle.
These cool different timelines, like the World War II one and Sombra. It's pretty neat.
Something I noticed was that this finale didn't have any major product placement like most finales do. Usually they introduce some sort of new castle or something, but this one literally did the opposite.
I liked seeing all the different kind of villains.
I don't know, there was something intense about, especially that first scene with Sombra and the armies and seeing Rainbow Dash, and she was missing a wing, and her ear was half bitten off and whatnot. It's like, that was intense.
I liked all the little implications behind each alternate universe. It's really fun to think about, okay, how did the butterfly effects make that universe happen?
I really liked the alternate futures that they showed. That was really cool. Again, the facial symbols are getting really diverse and adorable. Some of Twilight and Starlight Glimmer's expressions were so cute. They just really... I can tell if I'm just getting familiar and comfortable with the animation style, more so as I watch this, or if it's getting cuter. I feel like it's getting cuter though.
It was a cool thing to look into. It was awesome. It was an awesome episode, an awesome season finale.
Not only was it a returning villain, but it's a returning villain not doing something like, oh, I'm doing something evil to win, but I'm doing something crafty to make myself win in less of a brute force sort of way. Let's say T-Rex, who was just sort of I'm big and evil and I'm bad and I'm gonna kill everyone now.
I love the fact that Spike just kind of was dragged along this entire story. It's just like he's always hanging on to Twilight, not near death or something like that. It was just great to see him just always hanging around. I was like, yeah, you do your thing. I'm gonna fall to my death, but you know, friendship works, right?
What did you dislike about the episode? If there was a big pill to swallow, it continues down the line of how quick we are to forgive certain people.
I hate Starlight Glimmer's hair.
Well, compared to the T-Rex fight from last season, it was kind of, lackluster to me. Action-wise.
When we went into T-Rex World, that was the one I was like kind of looking forward to seeing like what would happen here. And I guess it just virtually turned into hell. Because they're like, there it is, time to go!
And she's such a copy of Sunset Shimmer. I don't know why they're doing it almost like twice. They're double dipping.
There was no expanded like Discord timeline. Like they could have been really creative with that, but they just made it a runaway joke.
I don't like the fact that a majority of these timelines was based on King Sombra's rule or whatever. I would have loved to see more of the Chrysalis world or Discord's world or whatever Flim Flam's world was.
Starlight Glimmer, like, reformed way too easy.
Each different timeline should have had equal time on the screen. It just kind of seemed like they started rushing faster and faster and faster through these worlds and then immediate friendship.
The rest of the episode, it was me being all like, no, I'm not going to listen to you at all. And then she does. Liberties, I'll let them get away with it, I guess.
I wish this could almost have been a three-parter just to get a deeper look into each of these worlds that have developed.
But I shouldn't.
If I disliked anything, it's just the part of my brain that tells me, oh, there goes another bad guy becoming good again. Classic My Little Pony or every other children's show.
Alright, real talk. I thought the exposition was really clunky, and the storyboarding was a little simple for a big epic finale, but since that's not nearly as fun to talk about, I'm just gonna say there wasn't enough Derpy. We obviously missed out on a timeline where she was an evil villain.
It was very, very dialogue heavy.
Things like that can happen in real life, and so that's really kind of an unfair criticism on my part.
Actually, kind of boring as well, and I wish Starlight Glimmer didn't get reformed. I just don't feel she deserves it.
Aside from that, I liked the whole thing. There wasn't really anything super cheesy about it. It was intriguing, it was entertaining, there was a good cliffhanger, and they legitimately made you feel sorry for the antagonist, which I like that. That's cool.
Which of the worlds did you find the most interesting?
Oh, yeah. Well, I did mention Discord's one, which that would have been cool.
Amongst the ones that were traveled, the Somber one really got me. And I think it was because initially I thought that was going to be the only world that we're going into.
I found the World War II one to be the most interesting.
I thought she was going to have to go and re-find and regroup everybody and then fight against Sombra. So the Somber world I found super interesting.
They're at war. They're rationing things to fight what is the equivalent of a pony Nazi regime.
Yeah, probably the Changeling one, even if it was a little silly.
It's gonna sound stupid, but I found the barren Mad Max style desert the most interesting.
The King Sombra one was probably my favorite only because it was just the most flushed out and it gave us the most detail. It was, over the top. It was crazy, dramatic, chaos, war, and all that stuff.
What happened that completely wiped everything out? And what a lonely and cold world. Like, to me, it felt alien. It felt like another planet. And I think a lot about this stuff, especially, with all the amazing new discoveries that Kepler has made.
I was really excited to see the Changelings return. That was really cool. But if I had to pick a favorite, it would be the one that looks like Fallout. Only because I've been obsessively playing Fallout 4 since it came out.
It felt the most bleak and hopeless and barren, and they even toned down the color of the characters, and I just thought that hit me the hardest, I think.
Well, the Somber universe was pretty cool. It's interesting to see ponies actually go into warfare.
It just felt hopeless. It felt like there was nothing you could do to change that.
My other favorite one would have to be the Flim Flam Brothers universe, because it actually makes Princess Celestia look good.
Crystal ponies being mind controlled, that was another thing that was just creepy and sad and just And I like it for that reason, because it makes me feel and it makes me think, and I like things that do that stimulate my senses.
It's very interesting to see how the world would go without princesses and without villains. You get people like the Flim Flam brothers who take over, and I think that's pretty interesting.
Which world would you like to have seen more of?
Discords, as I'm gonna keep saying that because it was the coolest. No, it wasn't. It was not the coolest, or at least what they showed of it. It was kind of boring.
The one I really wanted to see was T-Rex World. That was the one that I was like, oh god, what has he done? If no one was there to stop him, like, holy crap.
I would have liked to have seen more of the Discord world. See what kind of jerk he would have been.
Honestly, I kind of wanted more of the T-Rex one. That's what I honestly wanted more of.
And the T-Rex world. See what else he blows up.
You know what? Never mind. Not Discords. The Changeling one. The Changeling one was like more than the Forest. Maybe I don't know. The Changelings are cool. Come on, just cut me some slack, Jesus.
T-Rex.
Flim Flam Brothers, why were they taking up the trees? What's going on, man?
Maybe the Changeling world would have been cool. I think really all of them, except for the Baron one. I feel like we saw enough of that. Even though it struck me the most, it was the least interesting, and that's probably why it struck me the most, because it felt like no matter where you went, nothing.
I want to see more of the Somber universe because I don't know why, I want to see more of the military in My Little Pony. So we don't get very many details, and I just want to see that explored a little bit more.
I would have liked to see more from all of them. It's a shame they couldn't devote an entire season to this story.
One thing I found funny was that Twilight noted how the worlds get worse and worse each time. T-Rex World wasn't as bad as if Flim Flam had taken over. Did anyone notice that? Flim Flam apparently had a worse world than T-Rex. Nice work, boys. Overall, how would you rate the season 5 finale? Out of 10.
It's a solid 7 out of 10. Move on.
1 being as bad as it gets, 10 being best episode ever. Race! You gave me a rating system. You gave me a race.
God, I would give this a 9.
I give it a solid 8. I'm not crazy for Starlight Glimmer, but I like seeing how action-packed and fun this episode was. There was a lot of cool time traveling. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you, man.
It wasn't as intense on the action side, but it felt just as intense on the, I guess, the content side.
I'll give it 5. 5 because it did some good, but it also did like a lot of stuff I could say like, oh, that would have been cooler.
I really, really enjoyed this episode. It was great.
I really liked it. I'm gonna say 9 because I never rate 10 because I'm a jerk.
Oh, do you have to make me number it? Oh, you want to get a number out of me? Jeez. Numbers are hard. I don't know numbers.
I think I'm gonna have to give it about 5.5 probably. It's 5.5, 6.
7 or 8? 7.5 or 8? 8. Alright, 8. I like 8. 8 sounds good.
I give this episode 8 time paradoxes out of 10.
What was your favorite episode of season 5?
You're gonna have to make me look this up. Jeez. I don't remember all these episodes.
The 100th episode. It was so wild and wacky and out of the blue.
I have to say the finale. This was my favorite episode.
But for me, I loved it. It was just so much fun.
The one that made me cry.
Probably The Prince's Dream of Magic Sheep, and again, because it's one of those feel episodes. I'm not a huge fan of pandering. I'm not completely against it either. Honestly, I don't have super strong emotions about anything relating to any TV show. I'm just not that kind of person, really. But if a show can make me feel, then I appreciate it. And I appreciate the writing, and I appreciate the acting, and the animation, everything that went into something that elicited some kind of emotional response from me.
Main attraction. I'll say main attraction.
The idea of her creating a nightly punishment for herself for the things that she did, the tremendous guilt that she had, was so heartbreaking, and that really stuck with me. And of course, the episode itself was amazing.
Definitely the episode with Rara in it. It just feels like a giant PMV to me, and I like those.
Probably the premiere. It's really hard to pick favorites, though.
It would probably be Amending Fences.
What are your overall thoughts on season 5? Season 5 was my favorite season to date.
I thought season 5 was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, personally, I still think the first season's, I watched that for nostalgia. Second season, best all around.
There's so many episodes that people were requesting Bronies Reacts. By far more episodes that we've ever done Bronies Reacts for.
It was a solid season. I mean, the animation was better than before. There weren't any terrible episodes.
I look forward to season 6.
Fourth best season.
There was some really good episodes. There was some dumb ones though.
It was such a solid season. The facial expressions that came out of the season were just amazing.
I liked it.
Season 5 seemed to really try to do a lot more mature morals and mature tales, and my theory is that it's for a maturing audience.
Season 5's been great. It's awesome to know that even after all this time, the show still has all these awesome stories, these awesome characters, awesome concepts. It's just really cool to see that the show just keeps getting better and better.
We saw a couple successes, we saw a couple failures.
The stories were fun or serious or heart-wrenching. There were a couple episodes that actually got tears in your eyes.
Yeah, really good, really solid, and that just gives me hope.
I would say that I'm not as excited for this season as I was for season 4, because when season 4 I felt was the best season. It had a lot of great episodes, and at the end of season 4 I was super excited to see season 5.
I love this fandom, and I love the people that it's helped me meet, and I love being able to go to conventions, and I love having the incredible opportunity to be able to work on both sides. It's just the coolest thing to watch unfold.
And I'm not saying it's a bad season, it's just the technical worst.
Nothing lasts forever, but seeing a season this good makes me feel like it's going to last for a long time. And as long as people keep loving the show, it's going to keep on keeping on.
She died, and that's unfortunate. But oh gosh, that was really close.
Well, God, just lay it out, Sonic. I mean,
today is me going to be reacting, Brony, to the reaction of the. I'm going to start over.
Speak up. Speak. It's really quiet.
Watch how well she can impersonate Apple Bloom. See.
Remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone touches you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good. Remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than being hugged by someone you like. But remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than Remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone touches you in a way that Remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than Remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone is oh my god, that one time was so perfect. Just keep you laughing at it.
Oh god. Hair was in my mouth the entire time I said that.
I felt the same way after Force Awakens. Speaking of which, can you believe when the plug I said about just taking the they're taking the falling and then the better is just big the round is a tiny little toilet and the president was all the crowd and is just finding the kid but it is if you're trying to kind of follow the sirens is going to fly about it oh my gosh, that was crazy.
Remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than being hugged by someone. Fuck you.
Oh my god, Twilight, have you never read a time travel movie book? Fuck.
And I thought I knew where it was.
Sorry, Maraca. Ooh.
I don't know what I saw. That's exactly how I felt after I watched The Force Awakens. Oh my gosh, The Force Awakens. Have you seen that? I can't believe the part where Reyes is gonna beat this out now.
Remember, kids, there's nothing cooler than being hugged by someone you like. But if someone touches you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, then that's no good.